Hello Flickering Myth family and welcome to our channel. My name is EJ Marino and we have a new review today. Actually, in this review we're discussing behind the scenes drama. We're discussing the actual film itself and what could be the outcome of all of this, the film, the drama, all of that put together. Yes, we're talking about Don't Worry Darling. First and foremost, I wanted to say I was very excited for this movie. From that initial trailer, I was intrigued. One, it has Florence Pugh in it because, I don't know, she's just awesome there. She has not let me down with a single film yet. She doesn't let me down in this movie, even if I don't overall love the whole experience. So I saw that, but I also saw Olivia Wilde was directing. Now, Booksmart was a film that I thought was okay, not my personal favorite, but I did think it was intriguing. So I was like, what could she do in a more thriller, horror environment? Well, the movie wasn't really that scary. The scariest thing in this movie was trying to see Harry Styles figure out what the hell accent he was doing. That was a journey in and itself. But yeah, I liked the idea of Don't Worry Darling. There was a lot here that really was working for me. I think it's mega stylish. This movie looks out of this world. It is so stunning, it's very surreal looking. It's just, I don't know, I loved it. And when we did break to a different setting than our victory little town, it was very jarring. So it definitely made an aesthetic. I also really loved the score of this movie. Every time it would come in, it was probably one of the creepiest things about it. It would just kind of come in and be like, huh, 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 and I'm like, oh, I don't know. It made me uneasy, which was exactly what this movie wanted to do. So yeah, there is some really good things here. This is a very well-made movie. Olivia Wilde knows what she's doing as a director, at least behind the camera. Now, this movie has a lot of drama surrounding it. It's not just the Venice Film Festival that we just dealt with. It's not just did Harry Styles spit on Chris Pine. There's a lot to it. There's a slight beef growing, maybe with Florence Pugh and Olivia Wilde. There is the Olivia Wilde cheating on or leaving Jason Sudeikis for Harry Styles, who's in this movie. There is the film festival drama. There is the shockingly low Rotten Tomatoes score. There's a lot working against this movie that I was like, okay, it kind of all of this was festering in my viewing. And when I sat down for it, I was just like, I'm going to shut it all out and watch this movie. I'm going to see what the hell it is. And my takeaway was, girl, this drama was not worth it. None of what has happened after this movie is worth this movie. Like, I can see why Florence Pugh is trying to remove herself from the narrative and trying to be like, I'm not doing press, I don't want to talk about this movie, because someone's going to get burned by this movie. It's not that great, and there's a lot of drama surrounding it, so I do think some people are going to have a little slap on the hand. I mean, Olivia Wilde doing that thing with Shia LaBeouf saying, I fired him, and then him pulling out receipts and being like, no, girl, here's a voicemail. Olivia, it is the year of our Lord 2022. You know people have receipts. Come on, be smarter about that. So yeah, all of this is working against the movie, and I wanted to like sit and just kind of wash it away, but like I was watching it and being like, this movie's not that great, so y'all really want to risk careers for this? Okay, yeah. Like, again, the movie has a lot that works for it. We'll talk in the next section about the goods and the bads of it. But yeah, I just wanted to get the drama out of the way. I just wanted to figure out what the hell is going on with Don't Worry Darling. Can it be saved? That 39% currently on Rotten Tomatoes is only going to go up, hopefully, but it could still go down when more critics see this, because my critic screening was just critics and very limited as well. So I think they're a little bit nervous. Like, we've heard about Warner Brothers and all their drama this year. Warner don't got a lot of money to promote movies, and they're like, shit, is Don't Worry Darling the one that we want to? Look, this has just a lot of stuff surrounding it that I'm just tired of this, so this is my last time talking about the drama. Now let's get into the actual movie itself. In Don't Worry Darling, we follow Alice and Jack Chambers. Alice is played by Florence Pugh, while Harry Styles plays Jack. They're a seemingly perfect couple. The vibes are there. They have amazing sexual chemistry. She just loves making her little like dinners for him, and I get it. Like, being at home with a handsome 50s style Harry Styles, I understand, but also being at home with Florence Pugh, I get it. And they live in this weird subdivision, very suburb area called Victory. It seems to be they get jobs and they get moved to the Victory like little town, which is cute, but there is like an overall creepy vibe. Like, the women are not allowed to drive. They take the trolleys around. The men have very secretive jobs that cause big boomy bassy stuff. Yeah, there seems to be something going on outside of the little bubble that they're in, but a lot of the wives are just kind of dealing with it. They just kind of go, well, the men do what the men are going to do, and we have to do what we need to do, and it's seemingly perfect. But Alice starts having a bit of a hard time. She starts seeing visions. One of her friends, Margaret, starts going through a lot of it, saying, like, this is something's wrong, something's going on. And Alice doesn't believe her friend at first, but slowly starts to come around to it when she starts seeing how creepy things can be. And then Chris Pine's enigmatic, like, cult leader guy is here, and he's kind of the boss of everyone. I believe his name is Frank. I don't know, his character was good, but there's not a lot of him, and they talk about him a lot, but he just wasn't as impactful as I wanted to be. Creepy when he is there, just not enough of him. This is definitely more about Florence Pugh, which, again, great. Her Alice character is definitely going through it. She tries to confide in her friends, one of them played by Olivia Wilde, who, by the way, looks amazing in this aesthetic. I usually think Olivia Wilde's very, very gorgeous, but in like 1950s attire, yeah, I see it all. I get it. But yeah, I like the idea of this kind of Stepford Wives, this Twilight Zone. What's going on? There's something beneath the surface. That's really good. But then the movie starts having these weird, surreal edits to maybe start trying to tell you something's going on. But honestly, I didn't need those. A lot of the time, this movie is just like, hey, there's a twist coming up. You ready for the twist? Here's the twist. And I'm like, you didn't need to tell me 100 times. Like, sometimes I feel like Wilde was not trusting the audience to just go along with it. Just wait for it to slap you in the face. It just wasn't exactly how I would have done this type of story. And I know that's like a weird complaint, but I think the story is very good. It just needed a tighter script. It just needed a script to really kind of get in and out. Don't really fluff it up. Don't add all these extra flares. Just tell the story that is there. I think this could have been a really good hour 45, hour 50, and it could be good. I would have just definitely trimmed about 10 minutes, 15 minutes from this, because I kind of sat there being like, right, this middle section, it's just a lot of middle. There's a really good dinner scene where all of them come over to the Chambers house. Florence Pugh's been acting a bit crazy, but this is our time to get into Chris Pine's face and go, what's good? And he goes, yeah, something's up, but I'm not going to tell you because no one's going to believe you because you're a woman. And they have a great back and forth. That is the real big turning point of the movie, but that's about an hour and 20 minutes in, really, and I'm just like, okay, cool, we're almost over. Let's get in and out of the movie. It's a bit confused with that. Like, it wants to kind of draw the story out, but it's also yelling at you the whole time. So by the time the twist happens, oh my goodness, I've seen this twist 5 bazillion times in so many different things. I know Olivia Wilde's probably been cooking with this for a while. This script's probably not the freshest thing ever, but honestly, it's been there, done that by now, and that's kind of sad because this is a high concept. This is pretty innovative. It just feels a bit been there, done that by the time it's finally come out with everything on Amazon and Netflix and the Black Mirrors and all those kind of weird shows. You've seen a lot of weird stuff with technology and what we could be doing to people's minds. You've seen all of that. You get it. It's not hard to figure out. Now, the actual, like, what the twist is, it was a different version than I thought, and I was just like, oh, okay, I still predicted this, but it was executed in a way that was trying to be as fresh as it can. So yeah, there is positives and negatives here. I said in the other section, I really like the score. I really like the costume design, the set design, the aesthetic of it, and I definitely think Florence Pugh is a powerful lead actress. Just everyone around her, wow. Like, Chris Pine's good. Chris Pine and Florence Pugh highlights, but Stiles, Olivia Wilde, Nick Kroll, I'm just like, what are we doing? What are y'all doing? Like, I love Olivia Wilde's really good in one final moment near the end where she says her piece, and I'm like, your character makes a little bit more sense now and I understand it. But she's still a pretty bland character. Nick Kroll is obnoxious. I know he's supposed to be because he's Nick Kroll, but and Harry Styles, it's just because they put him next to Florence Pugh, but she outclassed him in every scene. They're arguing, and I'm like, honey, this is like theater major versus like Shakespearean actress right here. Like, it's just, there's a division in between the acting here between our two leads, and it's pretty obvious. Harry Styles has a couple good moments when he shows himself the true self, what's really going on. I liked that little bit of a character because I was like, oh, you're pathetic. Oh, sad boy. Oh, you're sad. Your life sucks. Yeah, I like that stuff. I thought that was an interesting dynamic, but yeah, I just wanted this to be a bit more powerful, a bit more of a wow, and it's just well, it's okay. Now, what can we do with Don't Worry, Darling? This was supposed to be an Oscar contender for Olivia Wilde and Florence Pugh. It's definitely not going to be that. It's sad to say, but I don't think Warner Brothers has anything really for the Oscars this year other than maybe Batman in the technical categories, and then probably Elvis, like Austin Butler and the movie, blah, 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 Elvis. But yeah, I definitely think Don't Worry, Darling kind of, it got shot in the foot. Like, it was running towards something, it had all this hype, and then boom, shot in the foot. And I thought the Jason Sudeikis Olivia Wilde relationship wasn't going to be that big of a hindrance, but it just kept snowballing into other things. Like, is Florence Pugh friends with Jason Sudeikis, and is that why they're beefing? Blah blah blah. There's just a lot of extra layers that this movie didn't need. I think it's gonna come out, it's gonna have its little life, and it's just kind of disappear, which is crazy when you think Florence Pugh, Olivia Wilde, Harry Styles, and all the drama that this movie could be pretty forgettable by the year's end, but it definitely will be, and that's what's really shocking about all of this. It's supposed to be a big Oscar contender. It's supposed to have this big hype around it. It's a big like coming out party for Olivia Wilde as a mainstream director, and Florence Pugh getting another great starring role. But yeah, it's just gonna kind of poof away. I think Warner Brothers is gonna dump it onto whatever streaming service they have by the end of the year. I don't even want to get into Warner Brothers drama. They stress me out enough. But yeah, I think this is going to come and go. I don't think it's going to be a major awards contender. I would say maybe at like a horror awards, I can see this getting some love. And also in the technical categories, I would nominate this for, production design, costume design, score. But that's really about all I see its future of it. It's just a couple sparing, nominations, and you're like, oh yeah, that movie. And then that's it. All right, everyone, that is it for my review of Don't Worry, Darling. I wanted to like this movie way more than I did. There's definitely qualities here that make it worth the watch, but it's overall pretty forgettable. It's not going to be the awards contender that we all thought. It's not going to be the vehicle for Olivia Wilde's future directorial efforts. It's just going to exist, and that's the worst thing for a movie, is just to be dumped on a streaming service or stocked up in a DVD rack at Walmart or something. But that's where this feature is going to be. What did you think of this movie? What did you think of my review? Share your feelings down in the comments below. Subscribe to Flickering Myth because we make videos like this every single week. And give me a thumbs up if you did enjoy. All right, everyone, let's talk about Don't Worry, Darling down below.